Daniel Jeremiah, thank you, NFL Network, that he took, was it Gray Zabel at number 11?
He did.
Now, Zabel's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I can't see the Niners making a move for Gray Zabel at number 11. What did you think about that mock draft?
Well, okay, let me first say this. I love Gray Zabel.
Yes, he's very good.
Gray Zabel. With that being said, sorry, I'm also getting my bearings here because for those who don't know, I literally just ran into my office and set this up and got in here about 90 seconds before I came on the air. But I think that I love Gray Zabel at 11. That's a little bit of a reach but also Daniel Jeremiah is not just coming up with that out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I think that's coming from a consensus that a lot of the guys that we have said could possibly be there, like Walter Nolan, Mikel Williams, Grant, Harmon, that Kelvin Banks, that all of those guys don't convince them enough that they're a non-whiff pick. Gray Zabel is as much of a non-miss pick, I think, as there is in this draft class, that it could go anywhere from 10 to 30. And I think if you are picking at 11, you do want an elite player. You also want a no miss. And Gray Zabel, if you really look at the top, from 10 to 30, he's the most of that there is. The question is, do you value an interior offensive lineman enough to go with that? But I think outside of that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, and I do see where he's coming from, but I think with all the needs the Niners have on the defensive line, to me, it makes sense that it's going to be either an interior defensive tackle or an edge rusher like Shamar Stewart. It's going to be somebody on the defensive line, in my opinion, because that's where the most help is needed. And there are a lot of players that we've seen on here already that they could go with. They can go Walter Nolan. They can go Shamar Stewart. They can go Mikel Williams. There are plenty of prospects. And there's even talk that if Mason Graham, which I don't think will happen, if Mason Graham falls out of the top 10, should the Niners take him regardless of who's still available? Because he is a highly decorated prospect, that being Mason Graham. So, Johnny, let me ask you, if Mason Graham falls out of the top 10, do you think the Niners should take him?
Absolutely. They should. I think as a pick at 10, that makes as much sense, or at 11, I think that makes total sense. They should totally take him on there. Give me about 90 seconds here, Dre, of being able to not answer a question so I can finish setting this up on my end, and we will be golden for the rest of the way.
Yeah, no, go right ahead. So right now, we have the draft right here in the background. We'll be bringing this up when we go live for each pick, but for now, I'm going to keep it off because if I do, YouTube will strike me down. So, having said that, once we get down to the picks, so this is how it's going to work. When the team has made their selection and they are ready to make the announcement on who they're going to take, I would drop this chime to let everybody know that it's time to tune into the draft and see which team, what player each team is going to select. And you're going to hear this tone right here. And then we'll tune in live to the draft to see which player that team has taken. And right now, Roger Goodell is giving his opening statements, and he's letting us know that the Titans will be on the clock in a matter of minutes. Clay Matthews is there. Some other celebrities. Of course, it's in Green Bay, but what's funny is I don't even see Aaron Rodgers, so isn't that kind of funny? They didn't even invite him there. They're like, I don't want to talk about that guy right now. And it's funny because I mean he's a big part of their franchise, in their history, but it's not going to work out. It's not going to happen there. So, guys, I'm super excited to see which player will go number one. We've already been told by the Titans that Cam Ward is going to be selected with the number one draft pick, but there's also talk about the Cleveland Browns possibly trading out of the number 2 pick. And if that's the case, it opens the door for a lot of teams to make a move up to number 2. And we could be seeing that move because the Browns may be looking to trade back and go for a guy like Jackson Dart, who could be had, within the top 10, but later in the top 10. So let's say they make a trade with the Saints. I'm just throwing this out there. They know they can get Jackson Dart at number 7, and the Saints will be able to get the guy that they really want to get. So it'd be interesting to see what trades do go down for the Cleveland Browns. And as of now, they're still fielding calls. Now, when it comes to a guy like Mason Graham, there's a good chance that he's probably going to go to a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars. He could go to the Chicago Bears, who are picking right ahead of us. And a lot of the mock drafts that I've done, the Bears have stolen the best player that I've been wanting to get time and time again. And so with that being said, if a player like Mason Graham falls out of the top 9, I could see the Bears taking Mason Graham. And here we go. The Tennessee Titans are officially on the clock, and they're ready to make their selection. And when they are, we will play the chime and get everyone ready for their number 1 draft pick, which is likely going to be Cam Ward. And when we look at Cam Ward's numbers, let's see what's this over here.
Sorry, if I dropped out there, I bumped my network cable.
Oh no, you're all good. You're all good.
I've got the draft going on one screen over here. I got you on another screen.
Nice.
I'm fired up for this.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, like we were just saying, like we've been talking about this and doing mock drafts and covering the hype for the NFL draft for months now. And so now we finally get to see what the outcome is going to officially be. And I'm so excited to see this. Okay. So, they have 9 minutes, the Titans do, to make their selection. And I
may be a little bit behind you. Mine right now says 9 minute and 6, 5, 4. So I may be a little bit behind
8:46, 8:45, 8:44.
Okay, so you're going to be about 20 seconds ahead of me.
Eric says, let's get Graham. I think if Graham is there, I would definitely take him at number 11. I think he fits the need for what the Niners are looking for, an interior defensive tackle that is good against the run, but can also apply pressure to the quarterback. I'd be super excited to get Mason Graham with the number 11 pick.
So what I love about Mason Graham is that, some of the analytics guys, what I've seen is that the reason he may be there at 11 is that the analytics of super high end isn't quite there, but he's as much of a can't miss tackle in this, or defensive tackle in this class, that you have. Walter Nolan has the super high end ceiling, but he maybe this is just my past 49ers draft PTSD. It reminds me of Trey Lance. It reminds me of Javon Kinlaw. It reminds me of Solomon Thomas. These guys that have the measurables and stuff for that super high end elite ceiling that didn't pan out at all. Okay, because they had so much development to do. That is my concern with Walter Nolan. If they go with that again, I will say maybe 4th time's a charm. You pick a developmental guy that has that super high ceiling that will become that. But Mason Graham to me is, if he's there at 11, you pick him because he may not have that future Hall of Famer ceiling, but he has all-pro potential ceiling. He has Pro Bowl potential ceiling, and he's as much of a can't miss pick as there is at defensive line. There's no real concern. Like, there's not this, he could potentially be a guy that you let walk after 4 years. You don't have that with Mason Graham. You have, he's going to solidify and be a big part of this defensive line for the next 8 years. That's what you can say with Mason Graham. So
yeah,
if he's there, I haven't done a ton of films work on him, just because this whole time I feel like that they just have not I didn't think he was going to be available there at 11. People keep saying I could be there at 11, and we've been hearing this more and more and more. And I think the biggest reason why is because the skill positions are looking much thinner of really high end talent potential. And so what the buzz is that there's going to be people moving up and jumping to try and get the guys that have that potential in the early rounds. And that's what could cause Mason Graham to slip. Looks like the Titans are on the phone with Cam Ward right now. They're not showing the green room, which means he's on the phone with them. They're not going to spoil it by showing him on the phone with Cam Ward. I think we all know this. The biggest question is going to be what happens here at 2. That is the biggest curveball that can be thrown into this draft, and what I think is what we're really waiting for. Like, for me, I get irritated with this of like, everybody's known for 2 weeks that the Titans are going to take Cam Ward. Why is it taking until, through 7 minutes of them being on the clock for that pick to even be announced? Like, it should have been the 2025 NFL draft is now open. The Titans with the number 1 overall pick select Cam Ward. Like, that should have been it.
That should have been it. Just start like
we should
that.
already be on to this point.
Yeah,
but
we have to wait 5 more minutes to know exactly who they're going to take.
They're going to milk this thing. It's ridiculous.
Well, not only that, but like what they're showing on the screen is basically all they're showing is Cam Ward. So they already know, and they've already told him that they're planning on taking him with the number 1 pick. And it makes sense too, because they need a quarterback, because Will Levis is obviously not the answer. Cam Ward, he threw for over 4,000 yards. He had 39 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. The Titans pick is in, you guys. Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, there's zero doubt in this area of like what is. I mean, look at that crowd. Awesome. I love this. I love what the draft has become as far as an in-person event. I don't love right now the pageantry of like milking this thing.
I know
every on-air minute you can. Like,
the reception has gone down, Johnny. You're looking kind of pixelated and frozen right now.
Well, I don't know why. I'm on a fiber optic connection. Maybe it's because I'm trying to stream all these things, but
I don't know. But you're fine now. You're moving, so you're all good.
All right.
We are moments away from the announcement of the number 1 draft pick here on the NFL draft coverage here on the Dre Area Sports Show and on Johnny Dale's Football Academy. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to both channels. We have 365 people watching right now. Make sure you follow us on X and you subscribe to the channel as well. My God, this is so loud. The pick is in, and as soon as he goes to the podium, I will bring it up on the screen, and we'll be able to watch Roger Goodell make the call for Cam Ward. We already know who it's going to be, so it's funny that we're just waiting around for the inevitable.
Yeah. I mean, that's what just the draft has become, so it's wild. I mean, because Roger Goodell, literally, they probably handed him that card, and then it was like, all right, well, I'm going to wait a little while. So,
yeah. He's like, I got to milk this. Everybody's booing him. All right, here we go.
With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
There it is. Okay, so we knew that was going to happen. That was fairly obvious that it was going to be Cam Ward. Now it gets juicy because now we move on to the number 2 pick in the draft, which is coming from the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have been known to make some horrible choices as a franchise. So will they trade out of this pick? Will they pick somebody that we weren't even expecting? For me, it's like, look, just take Travis Hunter. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's the best there is coming out of college at corner, or he even balls as a receiver as well. And he's been pretty coy about trying to play both positions, but I still think that he's a can't-miss talent. Then again, you could say, okay, look, we're the Browns. We suck. Let's take Abdul Carter, and let's give our franchise player, which is Myles Garrett, somebody opposite Myles Garrett, to give him another pass rusher to team up with, which could be devastating because we saw 2 years ago the Browns defense was one of the top defenses in the league, and this would get them right back up there if they got a guy like Abdul Carter. Out of all the players that are available now, who do you see the Browns drafting at number 2?
Wait, no. The Jaguars have traded up.
What? They trade up number 2?
Ian Rappaport. The Browns and Jaguars are trade. Browns receive the 5th overall pick and the 36th overall pick, 126th overall pick, and a 2026 first round pick. Jaguars receive 2nd overall pick, 104th pick, and the 200th pick. So
wow.
The Jaguars have just traded up. They are going to get him. That's what's happening here. So that's just put out there by Ian Rappaport.
Let me see. So what we're probably seeing here is that they're going to take Abdul Carter, or they could take Travis Hunter.
I think they're going for Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
they need a weapon there for Trevor Lawrence. So
I'm
here it
watching this
is.
right now.
Yep.
Let me see what's going on here. Okay, so they're showing the Jags draft room. They're all standing up. They're all ready to go. There's Khan.
Yeah,
Trent Baalke would have been there.
What they want. Yeah, they already know who they want. Like this is not a question here. They're getting Travis Hunter. That's what I think is happening right here. And what this now means is that the the Browns are going to take a quarterback.
Yeah, if they're going to go back, then yes, I think they definitely take a quarterback.
Yeah, I think the reason you drop back now is you get an extra pick. Now you get to pick your quarterback. You're not going to get Abdul Carter. You're not going to get Travis Hunter. So now you don't get one of those guys. You've got to take a quarterback. I think what we all were wondering with the Browns is, did they take one of those elite talents over a quarterback that they desperately need? So now here it is.
I don't think Travis Hunter will be a big bust, according to Mike B. I think he's going to be a very good player, a very dynamic player at that. He's a really excellent cornerback, and he's an exciting receiver. So, I mean, depending on how the Jags want to use him, he's going to be a threat either on defense or offense or both. But then again, I can't see him playing both positions in the NFL. That's like Iron Man status. No way.
Yeah, no, I don't see that either. I mean, he could. What he does have the potential is that high end receiver and being a special teams guy. And this is, again, it's where I get a little irritated. They knew the moment this trade was executed who they were going to pick. Why is the pick not being announced already? We are 5 minutes into them being on the clock. It doesn't take 5 minutes for this.
Okay, so there it is right there. The Jags received second pick, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick. And then the Browns get the 5th overall pick, a 2nd, a 4th, and 2026 first round pick. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm about 10 seconds behind you on the broadcast, but that's also probably because I'm routing it through Germany. But that's what I do.
Whoa, I'm streaming it from YouTube TV right now, so that's why it comes right in. So this is exciting. It looks like Travis Hunter is going to be the number 2 pick in the draft. But then again, you never know when it comes to the Jaguars. They're a funky franchise. Maybe they go for an edge rusher, a defensive tackle. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. I think if you've traded up to this spot, like, again, you're looking for an absolute top end talent. That is there. Like, you're not doing this for a defensive tackle in this class. There's just not that. There's not that willing to send 2 first round picks, because that's what the Jaguars.
Okay, here we go.
First round pick this year and then next year.
The pick is in, and they're about to announce it. They're showing Travis Hunter. He's smiling. He's on the couch.
Yeah, it's Travis Hunter.
He's getting ready to get up. He's wearing the pink jacket. It looks like it's going to be Travis Hunter. It looks like he already knows. I'm waiting for Roger Goodell to take the stage, and then I'll bring it up on the screen, and then we'll watch him announce the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. And then it will fall to the New York Giants, and that's another thing that could be a little crazy on who they pick. And guys, if you're watching this at home, make sure, just to let you know, we're going to go through picks 1 through 11. We'll cover the number 11 pick, and then we're going to wrap things up for this draft coverage. And here we go. It says the pick is in. I'm waiting for Roger Goodell to take the stage. It's got to be Travis Hunter. I mean,
which broadcast are you watching?
I'm on
watching
ESPN
NFL Network.
I'm on ESPN.
Okay, that's what I was like. I have not seen them show Travis Hunter yet, so I'm watching the NFL Network, their broadcast right now.
Okay, here we go. I'm waiting for it. Because really, it's like
Rich Eisen says it's about 3 or 4 seconds until we hear the official.
Oh, Eric Armstead is on the stage with Roger Goodell.
Oh gosh.
Why is he there for? And here we go.
Here tonight to celebrate the 32 young men entering the NFL. I'm honored to take a moment to recognize a player who's made a profound.
Okay, hold on. We'll come back to that. They're just He won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Payton Man of the Year. That's why he's there.
They're like, he's a great man, former Niner, couldn't get it done in the Super Bowl 2 times.
He's really tall. Makes me look not as tall.
Gets good lift. That's what Tom Sewell said about him. He gets good lift.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Eric Armstead is announced as the Walter Payton Man of the Year. We've known this for a few months already. And now he's going to announce the pick. Oh my. Oh, he just did the Duval call. Jesus.
Duval.
Oh my God. Now he's saying thank you to Commissioner and all this. Just get on with the pick, man. We're all watching.
It's like Monty Python. Get on with it.
Get on with it. You're taking up time. Well, he has plenty of time to help the community because he's always hurt.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to my tea, my English breakfast tea from Twinnings. It is helping me fuel through this draft and through these long times. And some
your bandwidth is like choked up right now. Here we go.
Is it really?
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns have traded the second pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And with the second pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter.
There it is.
All right. Okay.
From Colorado.
And there it is. Okay, so Travis Hunter is officially the number 2 pick in the draft. He's going to the Cleveland Browns. He's going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. A historically bad franchise. But this is going to help them out either defensively, offensively, or both. And he's a dynamic playmaker. And like you said, if you're going to trade up for the number 2 pick, you want a for sure thing. You want a guy who's going to come in there and ball out, ready to contribute day one. And I think this is the guy.
Yeah.
This is obviously the guy.
Yeah, it's obviously the guy, and I mean, just makes sense. These first 2 picks, as far as it's gone, have not been any surprise at all. Yeah, I mean, the moment the Jaguars moved up, you knew it was going to be him. But the biggest thing is now this secures that at least one quarterback should be going in the top 10, like a second quarterback. That's been the question. So New Orleans now, and the 2 dominoes that needed to fall for Mason Graham to get there at 11 is 1, the Browns taking a quarterback. Now 2 is New Orleans taking a quarterback. So do Shedeur and Jackson Dart now go in the top 10? Because they are not top 10 talents, but if they go, that means a top 10 talent has been pushed out of the top 10, and the 49ers now sit there. So either one is beneficial because that means either you have Mason Graham there or you have a top 10 talent kid available there that somebody will trade up for. And, I think Mason Graham is kind of the odd man out there. I think Mambu is a player that just won't make it out of the top 10. Too valuable in too many ways. So yeah, I think it's that's the first domino has fallen, in my opinion. We got to wait for the second. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited, Dre.
Dude, we're getting closer and closer now. When it comes to the Giants, they could look to take Abdul Carter. They could take a quarterback. Remember, they had a private last-minute workout with Shedeur Sanders. Now, imagine if they take Shedeur Sanders with the number 3 pick. That would almost ensure that Jackson Dart will be going number 5 to the Browns. And imagine which player is going to get shoved out of that top 10. If you're the Bears are probably like, hey, man, this is great. Like, we're going to get probably a pick that we would normally not have gotten because these teams are so desperate for a quarterback.
Now, I'm also hearing some buzz that the Bears are looking to try and trade up right now, that they have been looking all day to trade up. So now the question is, does somebody want to jump to 4 to get a quarterback before the Browns? And then do the Browns look to move back to 10 with the Bears moving up? Like, this is where it's getting really, really fascinating.
Yes, absolutely.
And why this first round has been so hard because Dre, you've been trying to nail me down on this for weeks, right? Like,
well, you won't do it.
Who are you
won't
picking?
Okay, the pick is in.
Why.
The pick is in for the Giants. They're talking to Travis Hunter on the stage, so they're not going to do anything until he leaves.
Whatever.
It says Jaguars Duval. Like, I don't even know what that means. Let's see. It's the county that they play in.
Bud is a goob.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're
County.
looking at. I'm looking at Adam Schefter's tweets. Nothing about this pick has been traded yet, as far as he knows, or as far as he's posted. He just did the Jaguars and that trade. What's up? Oh, my son's over here as well. Okay, so here we go. The pick is in, and we're getting ready to take the stage. Wait, are they going to commercial? Why they're showing trophies right now?
Right now, NFL Network is still just talking about Travis Hunter. They're showing him as a
Lisa, I agree. Duval sounds weird. It does. It's kind of like, what are we talking about? Like, why? That's like Shanahan being like, Santa Clara. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Or like me, Lamar.
Yeah, I'm like Mendocino. It's like, what? What's going on?
It's really bad where I grew up because it was Yam Hill.
I like Yam Hill better than Duval, I'll tell you
Yam
that.
Hill? A hill of yams? Come on. There's no way you can like Yam Hill better than Duval.
It has more character. Okay, here it is. The pick is in.
I'm backwoods.
All right, let's see what they do here. The Giants is showing their draft room. They're all standing up.
Of course they are.
What's his name? The coach, Zabel, or what?
No. Anyways.
It doesn't matter. All right, here he goes. Here's Roger Goodell. He's taking the stage right now, and
pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The New York Giants select Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter. They took Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
So, like Greeny just said, that goes sort of as expected. He is the top edge rusher in this draft. And now with Abdul Carter going to the Giants, that could mean that their current edge rusher, which I think is Thibodeau, they could be looking to move him, or they could keep him and just say, hey, we want more depth at that position.
Yeah, and bookends. I mean, you're going to pair each other up. I've seen some things that some people postulating that maybe the 49ers should try and trade for Thibodeau. I don't think so. I don't think he's a good locker room fit. But
no, I don't think they
Abdul
will.
Carter is a premier talent. Now, so far, these first 3 picks are going like many people saw as the top 3 players in this draft. And that was the general consensus. The difference is now, again, the Browns trading back because we did not think that the Jaguars were going to take quarterback at 5. You think they're going to take a defensive tackle. You think they're going to take an offensive tackle, maybe a running back. Now this changes the landscape of that. What do the Browns do there? Do they try and take a running back? Do they try and take a tackle? They do have a need for tackle. Are they trying to get into that slot for Mambu? But they still have the question remaining of who's going to play quarterback for them. They have $73 million in dead money sitting on the bench getting massages. They have Joe Flacco, who's supposed to be there and play 17 games. I don't think so. They have got to get a quarterback on a rookie contract. They could be thinking we can get a Jalen Milroe, we can get a Jackson Dart in the second round, in the early second round. They pick really early in the second round. They could be hoping for that. I don't know. They could now use the draft capital they had from moving back to move up from the second round, or move up from the second round into the late first. They could do that. This is going to be the next big question mark here.
I think if you're the Giants, I think they take Will Campbell. I'm sorry, no, not the Giants. If you're the Patriots, because you're going to pick before the Browns, I would think the Patriots are going to go Will Campbell because they have their quarterback in Drake May, who they want to develop. And what better way but to get somebody to help defend Drake May from hitting the ground? So I think Will Campbell is going to be the guy they go with now that the Giants have selected Abdul Carter.
They could go Tet, that kid from Arizona, try and bring in a weapon for Drake May because, I mean, they have no weapons there. Like, there are just no weapons.
There's no weapons at all. I mean, they did sign what's-his-face, who's already hurt, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be ready by week 1, or maybe he will. No. But even so, he's going to have to get himself back into shape, back into football form. So they could look to get a receiver to help him out. I just don't see them taking a receiver this early in the draft. I think Will Campbell is the guy because of the fact that they need an offensive line to help protect Drake May and keep him off the ground. Right now, we're seeing Abdul Carter on the stage wearing a New York Giants hat. Man, some of these teams, man, like the Titans, the Jaguars, the Giants, just total train wrecks right now. These poor guys are going to go there and like, oh man, this is rough.
That's what's fascinating too about whoever the 49ers pick, because they don't need somebody to come in and be a savior, to be a culture changer, to be somebody to reset this the roster and be the central piece. They already have that. Like, they are not looking for somebody to come in and be a Nick Bosa, to be a Brock Purdy, to be a Brandon Ayuk, to be a Fred Warner, be a George Kittle. They aren't looking for that. They're looking for somebody to come in and just be a solidified. Like, that's what's fascinating too, is that, so like those prospects that you would look at maybe at 11 don't matter as much. So,
but
this is going to be,
but I think
fascinating.
But I think what they do need is they need a guy who could step in and contribute on day one. They don't need a guy who's, a project.
The pick is in. The pick is in.
Or right now, ESPN's on commercial right now. So,
according to Ian Rappaport, the pick is in.
All right. So we know the
Browns
pick is in.
Are on the clock.
See, I like how they put the next team on the clock immediately. They don't have to wait for the announcement and then say, now the Browns are on the clock. Well, they should have been on the clock the moment they freaking put the pick in. So it does go faster when they do that. Right now, I'm seeing a commercial. When they come back from commercial, it'll probably be the next pick. So for the Patriots, like I said, I'm thinking Will Campbell. Is it Will Campbell? Yeah, Will Campbell. If you had to make a selection for the New England Patriots, who would you take?
I mean, it's hard because I'm not sold on, like, I'm not really familiar with exactly what their needs are and what they've been looking at and everything. I would say just, shooting from the hip on it. I might go Tet, maybe Matthew Golden.
I feel like maybe I just switch over to NFL Network. I don't know, because there's commercials right now, and this is like driving me crazy.
It's just commercials on the NFL Network right now. So
what's screwed up about that is like the pick is already in, and they're just making you wait now because like, whoa, we got to get our advertisers in. Pretty soon these things won't even be available on regular television. It's just going to be all streaming.
Yeah,
kind of like what I'm doing right now on YouTube TV. So I'm saying Will Campbell. Arman Mambu could be another one, but I think Will Campbell's just a more highly touted prospect.
Genty's a thing there. I think it's going to be either Ted McMillan or maybe Mambu.
Eric's saying
That's
Mambu
really where I'm
or
leaning.
Campbell. Campbell to Pat's confirmed. Okay, so it looks like some of the picks may have been confirmed. I'm looking at Adam Schefter. I don't see anything. He's just talking. He just says, "Oh, Abdul Carter."
Yeah, Rappaport hasn't said anything. I'm trying to refresh my X feed as well to see. I don't see anything about it on there.
Nothing yet. So I'm following Schefter. You're following Ian Rappaport. Let's see. It's about to come back on, and then we'll have a verdict here. on who they're going to take. Like I said, it's got to be an O-line because their O-line was terrible. They do need a receiver, but I don't see there any receiver that is worthy of a top.
I'm seeing
4 or 5 pick.
Jordan Schultz. Jordan Schultz is saying that the Patriots are getting Will Campbell.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so they're showing Cam Ward, pick number 1. They're doing a short little recap, even though it's only been like 3 picks. I mean, come on.
For everybody who doesn't hate spoilers.
What up, Steve-O?
X is saying.
Well, we'll find out in a second. We'll get the official confirmation from Roger Goodell. It's almost time.
Jay Glazer saying the reason that the trade with the Jags and the Browns was waited on until tonight was because they wanted to make sure that Cam Ward was going first.
What they already said he was. Why? I guess
everybody knew it, but you had to be 100%
okay, here we go.
Ian Rappaport 11 seconds ago is saying that Will Campbell is the.
Oh shit!
Select Will Campbell.
There it is.
Tackle LSU.
So there you go. Will Campbell is going to the Patriots. He will be the new offensive lineman protecting Drake May. So there you go, Drake May. He was definitely the selection for the Patriots because they got to protect their quarterback. Their O-line sucked last year, so this is going to help them out. My brother Daniel, he says, good pick. My good friend Chris Hebner saying, hey, Andre. Unlike the 49ers trading up well before the draft. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think the Niners are going to trade up. I think they're going to stay where they're at. I think they will trade down if the right offer is made to them. So, like, let's say the Broncos come in and they say, hey, we'll give you the number 20 pick, and they get more picks later in this draft. I think that's something that they would highly consider. Because I think at number 20, you can get a guy like Derek Harmon who would fill the needs of the interior defensive line. A guy who's a good run stopper, a guy who will help shore up that run game, that run defense for the 49ers.
Absolutely. I'm going to switch some things over here so I'm not streaming the draft on there anymore because it is putting a little bit of taxing on my system here. So I'm going to set it up where I'm streaming from I'm going to stream the draft on my phone here. So
you're like, I'm going to stream this from my phone. Like,
yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
You're like, hey, what's up?
I'm shutting off my VPN, so you may.
Yeah, there he goes. So when he comes back, we'll have Johnny Dell back on here just in time for the number 5 pick, which is from the Cleveland Browns. They have 7 minutes and 41 seconds. Why'd the clock stop? That was weird. There we go. 7:32, 7:30. So they have 7 minutes and 30 seconds to make their pick. This is going to be interesting because it'll be interesting to see who they go with. Are they going to go Shedeur Sanders? Are they going to go Jackson Dart? Are they going to go a quarterback? Are they going to go with the guy that Johnny doesn't have confidence in Jalen Milroe? I hope not. If they do that, they are morons. Because as athletic as he is, he's not the best thrower. Like, yeah, you can say, well, I think he's faster than Lamar Jackson. That's great. But if you can't throw the ball and you can't throw with anticipation, then it's all for naught.
Yeah. I don't think that. I mean, Jalen Milroe is not a first-round quarterback to me. I think it's a crime that they invited him to sit in the green room to let everybody watch him not be picked.
So I'm not on dial-up right now.
I'm on a fiber optic connection. I don't know why. It was because I was trying to route it through Germany, and I'm on a fiber optic connection.
He uses HughesNet, which is satellite.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm on a straight landline fiber optic connection. What it was, I was trying to run because I go through Dazen to do all my NFL Network stuff, and so like. I was trying to route it through Germany with the VPN and stream that broadcast and do this one, uploading and downloading the stream. So it was all of it running off of the one connection here, which is capped per device, and it was a little too slow. If I was at my house, but you would have heard my kids in the background, this would have streamed no problem. I get like 1 gig download. So.
Oh, really?
There. Yeah.
Okay, the pick is in for the Browns. It looks like they're getting ready to announce it. And okay, Verizon Business Player Connections. Okay, they're about to announce this pick. Will Campbell hasn't left the stage yet. Please get him off so we can move on to the next pick. Remember, Will Campbell has short arms. He's got the little arms, like the Mikel Williams.
Yeah, that was the question. I think again the question right now is somebody just posted a photoshopped image of Will Campbell and they reduced his arms by 50%. Oh, that's terrible. But do the Browns go with a quarterback here, or do they think they can get a guy at the beginning of the second? That's the question right now.
This is it. I mean, this is going to be a pivotal selection right now.
This is
number 5.
This is a huge selection to see what happens with the 49ers.
This is everything right now.
And needles right now.
This directly affects the San Francisco 49ers and who they're going to select. We're looking at the draft room for the Browns. They're like, God, our franchise sucks. Deshaun Watson's watching.
I'm not watching the chat. I'm not watching the chat. I'm not checking X. I want to see this live.
I want to see it live. I
don't want to stagger in this info. So chat, I'm sorry. I'm not even watching you right now.
All right, here comes Roger. Here comes Roger Goodell. And let's see. We're going to unmute it. Oh, that didn't work.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Mason Graham.
Whoa!
Defensive tackle,
What?
Michigan.
So after all of the speculation about all of the surprises we may get outside of the trades, these have been the players we were expecting. Mason Graham is a 2-time All-American.
That sucks. I hate the Browns. They took Mason Graham. Damn it.
I mean, look, this is actually, I'm irritated because I wanted the Browns to Brown.
Yes.
I wanted the Browns to Brown so bad.
I expected them to.
But they did the smart move here. They know they can get a quarterback in the second round, and they went best player available.
Yeah, they did. They basically did. And there's no guarantee that Mason Graham would have made it out of the top 10.
Yeah,
Eric said the Browns did something right.
People kept telling me today, like, Mason Graham's going to be there at 11, and I was like, okay, yeah, maybe, yeah, okay, sure, if you say so. Like, that's the way I was treating, because I was like, there is no way that he was going to be there. I thought he was too much of a can't miss player.
Yeah,
so,
like he would have had to have had something going on, like an injury or like an off-field issue that would have forced him out. My brother says that Graham looks like he collects Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Glass City writes, please don't pick Walter Nolan. I think Walter Nolan's going to be a good pick, but I don't know who they're going to go with.
I just worry about him because he's not a can't miss prospect. That's my biggest concern about Walter Nolan. He's got the sky is the limit. I'm just not sold that he's a can't miss prospect, and I just want a can't miss here. Like, that's what I want.
I mean, we talk about Mason Graham. I think he's a can't miss player, but I just don't see him. Even if they didn't select him here, I'd have a hard time believing that he's going to make it all the way to 11. I think even if the the Bears were stay at 10, I think they would have taken him just to help their defensive line, even more. And now that the Browns have selected Mason Graham, that puts Mason Graham directly next to Myles Garrett on the defensive line. That's pretty nasty to have those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, that is legitimately a very, very good pick. And apparently, Ian Rappaport is saying that he had.
Oh, we lost Johnny's audio.
Oh,
hey, you're back.
Audio?
It was all.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird because all I did was unmute my ex to hear what Ian Rappaport was saying. Basically, he was saying that the Browns had the option to trade out of number 5, and they declined. So who was trying to leap?
Well, Carolina, right now, Adam Schefter just tweeted out that Carolina has been fielding calls about trading the number 8 pick. Could San Francisco try to move up number 8? I don't think they should, unless there's somebody there.
I don't know who you're going for at 8 that really makes them want to spend capital to do that.
Mason Graham was the only player that I would imagine them trying to move up to get. I don't see them doing that for Jalen Walker, because at this point, there's a chance that
there's
going to
too many
get
questions
Jalen Walker,
and there's
Stewart.
too many questions about scheme fit. So I don't think you trade up to get Jalen. He's too raw too. Like, he does not have the developed pass rush moves. Like, he just doesn't.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal athlete, but he doesn't have any developed pass rush moves. So again, there's any of the guys outside of Gray Zabel that are there, I think all have legitimate questions about, are they can't miss.
But even Arman Mambu, Eric, I would
see him going to the Jets. Like, I don't think he's going to be there at 8.
Here we go. The pick is in for the Raiders. Roger Goodell is about. They're about to take the stage and announce who the next pick in the NFL draft will be. Come on, Roger, where are you, buddy? I call him buddy, like I know him. There he comes. Here we go.
Oh, okay. I see it. Who it was? Rappaport just tweeted. You have it muted. It's
I do?
Genty. Yeah.
Ashton Genty got selected. I forgot to unmute that.
Yeah. I was like, it's really dead, Dre. But I
have to unmute two different things. That's why.
Okay.
Now this makes sense for the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, this draft is slotting out exactly like the predictions have been as far as a lot of rankings. I mean, the top 6 so far are the top 6.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to NFLDraftBuzz.com, for example, the top 6 players are the 6 players who have been drafted.
Yes.
So the question is, what happens now? You have Tet McMillan, you have Arman Mambu, you have Kelvin Banks, Matthew Golden. How do these guys? Shedeur Sanders is still there. I think this becomes really fascinating for New Orleans because now it's either Shedeur Sanders or somebody else far down the line. That I think now this means Shedeur is going to New Orleans. And so what the 49ers need now is for a couple guys to get really in love with some wide receivers and Jahdae Barron. That happens, it's going to be a very good day for San Francisco because that means that Arman Mambu is there. If Arman Mambu is there, you get Mambu.
I think so. But still, I mean, but you could argue, well, they need help at defensive line, but there's the defensive line prospects is so deep in this draft that you could say, hey, look, I need the best player available, and Arman Mambu might be that guy, at the tackle position. Because I mean, the guy played phenomenally. Was he at the Senior Bowl too?
No, I don't remember him at the Senior Bowl because I wasn't. No, he wasn't there. The other guy was Embo, which was Marcus Embo. From
that's what I'm talking about. So, but okay, so Shamar Stewart was there though, wasn't he?
At the Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He looked phenomenal in the 2 days he was there. The biggest thing about him is you have to answer: is his lack of production due to playing too heavy or not? That's the biggest question there. Mm-hmm. And being a little raw. Because the athletic measurables are there, and those came after he shed about 15 pounds from his playing weight at Texas A&M. The thing that looked like to me on tape was that he was a step slow from being overweight, especially when you see him then compared to the Senior Bowl and the Combine being 275, 277. So where he was playing 290 plus, some people say closer to 300 while he was at Texas A&M. So that's the biggest question there with Shamar Stewart. Still very raw. He's a great run defender. He really, he can set that edge as well as anybody there. And that is something the 49ers really need. They didn't get that from Leonard Floyd. Question is, are you asking, can I get the 9.5 sacks that Leonard Floyd had with this defensive line, and now get a premier edge setter so that we can condense that inside, make it easier for our defensive tackles, go get some of these space eaters in these later rounds. I love Darius Alexander. He's going to be there. I think you can get
he's a monster.
You can get TJ, the kid from South Carolina, I think as it is. There's a lot of good defensive tackles here. Walter Nolan has the highest ceiling, but again, comes with the biggest miss risk to me. Shamar Stewart, similar thing though. A lot of potential miss risk there. Mikel Williams, great edge setter, great run defender, young kid. Doesn't have the greatest pop in the pass rush. He got 5 sacks at Georgia. Now that was a stacked Georgia line. Their best edge rusher, in my opinion, was actually their guy who was 5th on the team in sacks with only 3, and then he entered the transfer portal. So, I mean, there are so many different ways that this could go. Man, yeah. And so now we find out, what the Jets are going to do. The Jets, to me, this is where Mambu could go.
I think so.
Question is, does Mambu go to the Jets, or do they reach on a defensive player? Now that they got Glenn there, do they try and get a wide receiver talent? I don't know. I mean, now I do think that one option here is that if a kid like Tet McMillan or Matthew Golden falls to 11, you might now get trade up interest.
Yeah, I think so.
That changes things, and that's good for the 49ers. If you're going to pick a Walter Nolan, I'm fine with that. If you get another third, with that, I love it, because you're hedging your bet on him with another guy. So there we go.
Well, and on top of that, I think that the Jets still have a fairly good defense. And they got what's his name, Quinnen Williams, in there as well. So they could look to. I'm seeing a commercial for Andor season 2. So,
dude, I've watched only the first episode. Loved it. I can't wait.
I still have to watch the first episode.
Oh man, I can't.
I would have watched it tonight, but
on a Star Wars episode.
Oh yeah,
I'm already taking my notes and everything.
So, what was I going to say? The Jets still have good players on their defense, so they could look to replace, some guys on their defensive line. So they could go defensive line with this pick. They can go in a lot of different directions. I mean, I don't think they're going to go quarterback because they just signed Justin Fields. But then again, is Fields really the answer at quarterback for them? And what other options do they have at quarterback? And so, again, you kind of have to say, what if they go Shedeur Sanders and say, hey, we're going to take a chance on an athletic, what we think a dynamic playmaker is? That could be something that they try and do. We simply don't know where the Jets are going to go with this pick. I'm thinking it could be quarterback, or it's going to be defensive line, because they want to retool that defense after they lost some guys. What if they draft Shamir Stewart? They might do that.
They very well could.
Dr. J says German TV so far completely right. Expects Mambu now. And I mean, really, like, Arman Mambu is, I think he's a for sure thing when it comes to an offensive tackle. I think he's a guy that you can plug in and he'll give you results immediately. So that isn't a bad pick whatsoever. I think that's a safe pick, but it's also a guy that's going to be someone you can lean on for a number of years.
They're showing Will Johnson on NFL Network.
Is he on the stage?
No, they're showing him in the green room. So, I mean, they could go corner because, remember, they let DJ Reed go this year.
Yeah, they let DJ Reed go.
So they could go Will Johnson here.
Here we go. The pick is in. Here comes Roger Goodell.
The draft is in, and here comes the commissioner to make the announcement.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
With the 7th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Arman Mambu.
There it is.
Missouri. Tackle.
There's Arman Mambu.
Right tackle.
Yeah.
He is from just.
Yep.
So Arman Mambu is now officially the 7th pick in the draft, and he's off the board. So if the Niners were interested in taking him, it's not going to happen at this point. What do you think about this pick for the Jets?
I mean, that's what we said. I think he's the second best tackle in this class. The movement skills are unbelievable. He will immediately be a top 5 right tackle in this league, and will, I think, within a year or two, be pushing for the best right tackle in the league. So, that absolutely makes 100% sense. What I don't like is happening so far is that every team is going best player available and picking somebody who makes a lot of sense. I want somebody to do something that makes no sense and makes us scratch our heads and be thankful that they did something stupid, and it's not happening.
I thought it was going to be the Browns, and they did not come through with a bad pick. So we'll see what they do. Let's see. So the Panthers are now on the clock, and their pick is already in. So they are definitely they're taking a player with this pick. Now this could go in a lot of different directions as well. This could even go with they could even go with Jalen Walker, because we know that they're big on linebackers, on pass rush. And so that's who they could take. I don't see them taking a receiver like a Ted McMillan, because if you're going to take a receiver, it's got to be a dynamic playmaker. And I don't know if Ted McMillan is that for sure thing. Like, if you get him, he's going to blow it up. I think they're going to go Jalen Walker here. They could even go Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything on X to confirm.
You know what? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know ahead of time. I want to hear it as it comes out, and then we'll see what they do. The pick is in, so I don't know what the fuck we're waiting for.
I'm gonna chat. I'm not watching you right now. I want to be surprised. I want to react in live. Like Dre. Like, we need to react.
We're just gonna react in live.
Yes.
Let's see. They're doing another commercial. They're just, you know what? I hate it. You're on the clock, and then your pick is in, and they're like, okay, hey, just hang on. We're going to run some commercials.
I think the wild card about this is the question of how committed to Bryce Young are the Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good second half. I mean, he showed potential finally.
But is it enough for them to stay the course? Because that's what, like, you're gonna get the answer on this. Do they believe in Bryce Young? If they do, they go offensive weapon.
Yeah.
If they don't, they either surprise us with a quarterback or they go defense, and that's where Jalen Walker is.
And so at this point, but at this point, all the picks have not been a surprise, other than Mason Graham going to the Browns. We didn't know where they were going to go with that. But you know what? They made the right pick. If they would have taken a guy like Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders, that had the potential to be an absolute failure of a pick. At least they took a player that they knew was going to be good, who was more a for sure thing in a franchise that doesn't have a lot of for sure things.
Where this gets interesting for me is now, what does LA do? Because LA needs to get a developmental quarterback. They need to get somebody in the building, because
they do.
Stafford is not going to be there much longer, and they know it. So, if Jackson Dart is still there, or Shedeur Sanders is still there as this goes, do they become a potential draft move up in the draft? Because now the Browns, they're on the clock. They have got to get a quarterback before the Browns do. So that becomes really fascinating to me, of what's going to happen there. And then again, how does that affect San Francisco? Does a trade up in there with somebody else, and then a move back facilitate that team then trying to move up with San Francisco?
It's a lot, guys. If you haven't done
I
so,
love draft night. I love this stuff.
Guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Johnny Dale's Football Academy. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Dre Sports. If you're watching on X, which a lot of you are, make sure that you follow both of our accounts, whichever account you're watching, for continued coverage of day one of the NFL Draft. We are moments away from finding out who in the world the Panthers are taking at number 8. I think, for me, I think it's going to be Jalen Walker. That's my pick. I know it's been mocked in a lot of drafts, so I think they're going to go that route. I think they're going to go with a defensive player. I don't see enough potential at offense for them to take a chance on an offensive player, and I don't see them taking a quarterback, when they've already taken a number 1 draft pick in Bryce Young. And he showed potential towards the end of the season. Take it for what you will, but I think they're going to stick with that. Okay, right now they're doing a recap. Mel's best available: Sanders, Tyler Warren, Jalen Walker, Will Johnson, and Colston Loveland. I mean, it's possible Will Johnson can be the pick here for the Panthers, but still, I think Jalen Walker is going to be the guy, unless they want to go Tyler Warren and give him another target to throw the ball to, an outlet at tight end. Here we go. What are they doing now? They're still talking. So right now they're going over the best available players. And then in a minute they're about to announce it.
Man.
But like I said, so far the draft has gone pretty on schedule. Okay, here we go.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Here we go.
The 8th pick is in the Carolina Panthers, and here's the commissioner.
With the 8th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Teteroa McMillan.
Wow.
McMillan. Okay.
Arizona.
They went receiver.
Tet McMillan.
So that one isn't what we expected.
All right.
Outstanding.
That's that's not a bad pick.
That's not a bad pick.
That I mean, look, they're following the slots. I mean, he was the 7th ranked player by NFL Draft Buzz, which puts together all of the different rankings that people are having there. So again, the first 8 players are the top 8 ranked guys. If this continues to follow this way, you're going to have Jalen Walker, Mikel Williams, Nolan, Harmon. All those guys are going to be available. And what happens? So this is a big belief statement in Bryce Young.
And Bryce Young. Absolutely.
And so there you go.
Because they do have Xavier Legette. They have Adam Thielen, and now they're going to be adding Teteroa McMillan, T-Mac, as they call him. And now it gives him a deep threat, a speed threat as well. And this is a guy that, look, in an earlier mock draft, I actually talked about that they might take Tet McMillan because I thought they want to give Bryce Young more offensive weapons, give him some more options to throw the ball to. And that's exactly what they did. I thought maybe it'd be him or Tyler Warren when it comes to the offense. But like you said, this is a vote of confidence in that they know they want to stick with Bryce Young, or I guess if not, they're going to go with Andy Dalton again. The Saints pick is in. They've announced the Saints pick is in, and we're waiting now for Goodell to take the stage. This could take another 25 minutes. Who knows?
Yeah.
And right now we're almost there. We're at pick number 9. We're 2 picks away from the number 11 pick of the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to make this pick, or they're going to make this pick. We're going to cover who they selected, and then we're going to start wrapping things up as Johnny will be heading over to another stream to go say hello, and I will be going inside to make dinner for my family.
Yeah, I may hop back on for a little bit depending on how quick this draft is moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is. It didn't at first.
Saying, it's not like they're picking with at least a few minutes left on the clock. So I may swing back on. But yeah, this is going pretty smoothly. I'm getting so excited right now.
Oh my God. I wish Adam was here, but it looks like he's not going to make it.
Yeah. And he hasn't messaged me about anything like, hey, I need this. My wife has just texted me. She's like, we need to get the children to bed. So she's putting the kibosh on me coming back on right away.
She's listening in like, no, okay, this is what's going to happen.
She's watching this one.
She's like, Johnny Dell's wife has selected Johnny Dell to come inside and put the kids to bed. Okay, we're moments away from the next pick, which is the number 9 pick. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. He says Javon Kinlaw vibes.
I mean, Walter Nolan does legitimately give me a little bit of Javon Kinlaw vibes. I mean, everything that we're saying about Walter Nolan, was said about Javon Kinlaw. I mean, there was a reason he was the number 11th pick, right? Or was it 12th or 13th.
Yeah,
like,
somewhere around there.
A lot of the things that we're saying about Walter Nolan, about the huge upside, about the freak athlete, the ability to just wreck people and wreck the game, we said that about Javon Kinlaw. That's one reason I'm concerned. We said the same thing about Trey Lance. Like, we looked at only the upside. We didn't look at that if he doesn't develop, this is going to be a really bad pick, not just an not okay pick, a really bad pick. And that's the concern I have with Walter Nolan. The Javon Kinlaw showed a lot of flashes when he was with us of why they picked him so high, but he continued to always have the deficiencies in his game and would get ejected from his run fit. And just was never trusted as a player, struggled with his pad height. Like, that's the things that I see with Walter Nolan. And I just go, I don't know if I want to run down this road again, because what's going to happen is the next 3 years, if it doesn't work out, you're still going to have these flashes, and people are going to say, if he can develop, and we may be sitting here for 3 years saying, if he develops, he will really be a game wrecker, and people hanging on to, I want to be proven right the entire time that he was a great player and worth number 11 overall. Will I trust that he will develop if they pick him? Yes, I'm going to try and believe in that. But I'm also not going to sit here and say that I'm sold that he's a can't miss pick. So, again, if it's a trade back and they pick up an extra third to hedge it on him, yeah.
If they trade back in this draft, I don't know what we're going to do, because then we have to stay on here longer.
Yeah. My wife will be ready to storm.
Okay, here we go.
office.
The pick is in. Here he comes.
That's what they've done. Here's the commissioner to announce the pick.
Oh my God. Should go over Sanders? I hope not.
With
Now
the ninth
look at the
pick
chat.
in the
Now look at the chat.
2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr.
Wow.
Texas.
Kelvin Banks Jr.?
Kelvin Banks Jr. is one of the most decorated in Texas history. He was an All-American as a junior last year. He won the
Wow.
They went offensive line.
Wow.
A guy that was projected at number 11 or later was taken by the Saints. So
I said it was a crime that they invited Jalen Milroe to this thing.
yeah, why is he there?
That kid is not going to get drafted in the first round.
He might later for the first round. I don't see who would take him.
I think the only reason I would get excited right now is I think, okay, Steelers now the Steelers become legitimately in play. They're going to be calling San Francisco. They're going to be calling Chicago. They're going to be calling some other people there and saying, okay, because now you potentially have a bidding wars for somebody else to move up and get a quarterback now, because you have some teams that need quarterbacks and there's a lot left on the board.
They took Kelvin Banks. Oh my God. That means they're like, we have full confidence in Alvin Kamara, but we have no quarterback. Wow.
I mean,
they could still take a quarterback later in the draft. I mean, that's still on the table, I would say.
I'm in shock that the first 9 players are literally the ranked 1 through 9. Like, we haven't seen this in years. There's always been a reach at some point here.
Yeah.
This is slotting out exactly like, I mean, if you slot these out, then right now the Bears are either going to pick Jahdae Barron or Matthew Golden. It's going to be one of those two guys.
Okay, the Bears pick is in, so we're waiting for them to take the stage. Now, the good thing is that Kelvin Banks is not at the draft. He's at home on the couch crying with his family. I'm happy for him. Way to go, dude. You did it. I'm a little surprised, though. The Saints went with Kelvin Banks, an offensive tackle, when you don't even have a quarterback, when you don't even like your quarterback, when you got a quarterback in Derek Carr who has a shoulder injury, who may not even be able to play much this season.
See the field.
It's unbelievable that they went this route. This is a shocker to me.
The only thing I can think right now is that they're actively trying to acquire Kirk Cousins from the Saints or from the Falcons right now. That's the only thing I can think of.
But still, if you're the Saints, I mean, it's like, is the answer Kirk Cousins? Who the hell are these two ladies? What? Just get with the draft pick.
Oh, that's Carissa Thompson, and don't know who the other gal is.
I know, but like, what are they even talking about? I have it muted right now. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. But no, I think this is a shock over move. Kelvin Banks, to me, this is a guy that is probably would have gone in the teens, could even fall into the 20s, and they took him with number 9, leaving off Shamar Stewart, Mikel Williams, Walter Nolan, Jalen Walker, Mike Green.
I think the pick is, to me, either Jahdae Barron or Jalen Walker. Really thinking about this. I don't think they're going to go get Matthew Golden. They went and got what's his butt last year for Caleb Williams. They need a lot of help on that defense.
I could see Jalen Walker, and that's saying he's going to play linebacker. You know, he may end up being an edge rusher, you know, just like Micah Parsons. He could be that kind of guy because he seems more like an outside linebacker. But we'll see. Charlie Higgins is saying trade back.
Yeah.
And to me, yeah, Kelvin feels like a reach. I thought it was a reach. I thought they could have gotten a player that's more dynamic defensively than Kelvin Banks Jr. But hey, you know, I'm sure they did their due diligence. Let's hope so. Okay, I think it's about to happen.
This is also speaking very loudly about the quarterbacks in this class. That the questions everybody's been saying are legitimate here. Now I think the Bears really, Shedeur is definite a possibility here for no, I'm just kidding. I think it's either going to be Jahdae Barron or Jalen Walker. If it's Jalen Walker, that makes it even more fascinating for San Francisco here at 11. If they pick Jahdae Barron, I swear, or Matthew Golden, I swear.
Here he comes.
Yesterday, the NFL family lost a true legend, Bears Hall of Famer Steve McMichael.
Mongo.
My heart is with the McMichael family during this incredible.
I'm not reading the chat.
Time.
I'm not doing it.
Misty, please know that you are in our thoughts and prayers.
Our thoughts?
Mongo's remarkable contributions.
Roger sounds like he's had a few because he said McMillan.
Okay, hold on. Let me take this off until it comes back on. Otherwise, YouTube will be like, "Oh, we're taking you down." Yeah. I'll get a copyright hit. I don't care about that. I just don't want them to take us down.
Yeah.
So he's still talking about this guy. Oh, here we go. Oh wait, never mind. They were talking about that guy's draft.
Yeah, Steve McMichael. I mean, I knew him more for his time in WCW than anything, but you know, as a member of the Four Horsemen. But that was it. Come on, we are on pins and needles here.
We're one pick away. Oh my God.
The suspense is killing me.
They're like talking about Walter Payton. Hey, look, I'm a huge Walter Payton fan, you know, but they're really dragging this out. You're all good, Mason? Yep. Here we go.
The Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland.
Colston Loveland. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. That is the first surprise. That is the first
Colston Loveland? Are you serious?
Okay.
They went tight end. Didn't take Tyler Warren, but went Colston Loveland of Michigan.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a surprise. Okay. Okay.
Now the 49ers have a bevy of players to select from, and we'll see now. Will a team trade up for the number 11 pick? I can't believe they went Colston Loveland. I mean, he is 6'5".
You have Matthew Golden available, Jahdae Barron available, Shedeur Sanders available. All guys I don't think the 49ers, well, especially not Shedeur, would really want or need, and Tyler Warren and Will Johnson. Like, those are all guys that could be picked.
The pick is in for San Francisco, so now we're just waiting for.
Back.
They did?
No, I said they haven't. They haven't
traded back.
The pick is in, so they haven't traded back.
Yeah, that means they haven't traded back. Otherwise, they would have announced it already.
That means they knew who they wanted.
Oh my God, this is it. This is it.
I've shut
Johnny's wife is like, come on, make the selection. Let's get the kids in bed.
I've got X turned off.
I got my son right here next to me. He's patiently waiting.
Hi.
Okay, here we go. This is it. Okay. Here we go. So the pick is in. We're just waiting. Colson Loveland's is on the stage. Just get him off. I can't believe they went Loveland over Tyler Warren, who's a dynamic tight end for Penn State.
I mean, now you legitimately have to wonder, is Tyler Warren to the 49ers a possibility? I did a mock where that happened, and I will say that I was still very happy with how that mock ended up for the defense. There were still a lot of available options, and you really could build a dynamic team with that draft. And so they can go skill position here. They can go linebacker and still
they can go anywhere.
They can go anywhere and still, you're not hedged into they have to go defensive tackle. They have to go defensive end.
I think they do, though. I mean, that's where the biggest need is at.
Yeah, but you can get so many different players in the second and third and fourth rounds in this draft that you can address those needs. You don't have to do that.
But the good ones are here.
I'm just feeling like it's not going to be defensive line. I just feel that way.
Okay,
I feel like it's going to be something else.
Who could they take that would shock everybody right now? To me,
for me, it'd be Jahdae Barron.
Jahdae Barron, absolutely. Nick Emanwarney. He's a good player.
I don't think they're going to. They don't value safety that high.
They don't.
So that's not available there.
I mean, and what if they go with the Shanahan
I think the smart pick would be Gray Zabel here. It'd be a bit of a reach, but
I think it's a reach. I really do.
Right. It is for interior offensive line, but it's a can't miss pick.
But you still got guys out there like Jackson Slater's still out there, Miles Frazier's still out there.
Yeah, I mean Jalen Walker's there, and if you think this is the most dynamic defensive line player or defensive player in this draft, outside of Mason Graham and Abdul Carter, then you get him. He's there. And I did a Jalen Walker draft, and I really like that draft. I don't know. I think there's a number of ways that they can go. The only way I really don't want them to go is receiver, is get Matthew Golden.
Yeah, I would say no to that. Now, guys, we have 834 watching on all of our platforms that we're streaming off of. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Dre Area Sports on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe to Johnny Dell's Football Academy. Both channels have memberships available on our websites. And if you're watching on X, make sure that you follow these accounts because we go live once, twice, multiple times a week. And we'll be talking San Francisco 49ers from now until the end of time. And Strawberry React says, of course, they go to commercials for the 49ers pick. I know. They couldn't just bust it out, right?
I've already shut off the chat because somebody's going to want to spoil it in the chat.
Yeah, no spoilers in the chat. If anybody sees it, don't type it in there. Just don't.
People always do that.
I want to see Johnny's reaction.
Yeah. No. I'm not watching the chat. I've got it turned off, and
what if they go Tyler Warren?
Like I said, I would not be necessarily opposed to that. I
wouldn't be opposed to it,
and I was still able to load up the defensive side with a lot of great talent. So
if you go Tyler Warren, then they're taking the best player available in terms of offense, because we know Kyle Shanahan's such a big offensive guru. Maybe he wants that. He wants another receiver, especially with George Kittle getting older. Okay. Oh my God. Here we go.
George Kittle contract stuff. I mean, who were they on a contract negotiation with last year, and who did they pick in the first round?
The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock at number 11. You are looking at a picture of
we're not taking him. Get him off the camera.
Now, it has been
okay, we're almost there. There's no way they're taking Shedeur Sanders. There's no freaking way.
they take Shedeur Sanders, we riot. I'm serious. Like, I will lose faith in this coaching staff and this organization.
There are content creators out there that would love for them to take a bad pick right now. I think we know who they are. They would love for them to take someone stupid.
Matthew Golden
right now.
is not on the phone right now. He's in the green room.
Here, I'm turning the chat off.
And then they're on the phone. So it's not Matthew Golden.
How do you know that? Oh, they showed him on NFL Network?
Because they showed him in the green room, and he was not on the phone, and the 49ers are on the phone with their pick right now. They're showing the war room. God,
I'm thinking
okay, I'm sorry. On
Shamar
NFL
Stewart,
Network, they're showing the war room, and this does not look good for Jed York and his, like, I'm saving money right now because his son was wearing a Ferrari shirt.
Video screens.
Can you hear that?
Special message.
Yep.
From United States service members stationed
They really gotta
at
drag this out, don't they?
Air Base in Japan.
Hello from United States Forces Japan. I'm Sergeant Mitchell Johnson. I'm here with service members from the United States Army, Marine Corps,
I don't
and
think
Navy.
he's going to announce the pick.
We're proud
Trey.
to announce it.
No, okay. We're going to come back to this. Thank you for your service, but we need to know who the pick is going to be.
Back to you in Green Bay.
Oh, I was like, is he going to announce it? Here we go. This is it. This is what we've all been waiting for. The buildup is now. Who will they take at number 11?
Thank you to our men and women who serve in the United States military for your sacrifices to defend our country's freedom.
This is the start of a new defense, I think.
With the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Mikel Williams.
Wow!
In Georgia.
Mikel Williams, 5 sacks last year. 2 of those came in the SEC title game against Texas. He was a 5-star recruit from Columbus, Georgia. 14 sacks in 3 seasons after starting his very first game as a true freshman, and still very young, Mel. He won't turn 21 years old until late June.
Yeah, he had a high grade going into the season, Greeny. Then he had that.
Okay.
And there it is.
I like it. I like it as a pick. Okay. So here, I got some film already ready to go. So
right.
let me pull this up.
Okay, go ahead.
I really like the Mikel Williams pick,
And it wasn't Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, it was never going to be.
The reason I like it is because, again, this is now the most can't miss pick that you have at this point in the draft. So so I gotta make sure this is the right clip here.
I mean, they've been looking for someone opposite Nick Bosa for a number of years, and so is this the guy? You know, even Larry Krueger had his doubts about Mikel Williams based on his production.
Okay, so here I'll share this. I'll share a couple clips real quick, and then I'm going to jump over to the other broadcast I gotta hop on to. But you have to allow the sharing. Okay, so here's Mikel Williams right here. Okay, he's not going against Kelvin Banks on this one. So here, watch. He's going to come in here. He's going to act. They're going to guard and a pulling tight end. And so watch the violence that he brings in this. See it? Bam, bam, and still go and get the quarterback.
Look how big he is too. He's 6'5".
A relentless motor. That's a relentless motor. That's violent hands. That's somebody who just cannot be blocked. Okay, so I've got a couple more clips here.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Because I did some film study on him. And let's make sure this is the right clip here. Yeah, okay. This is it. All right. We'll cue it back up.
I don't see it.
So I'm sharing it right now. Sorry.
Okay. There we go.
All right. So here we are. Mikel Williams is right here. Watch the arm length, the burst. So Here, they're running a little play action. He's going to read it. He's got to take on a pulling guard. Look at the reach and the power to stand that man up and drive him back in this pass rush, then disengage, and he's there. And he forces a horrible throw from the quarterback.
Yeah.
Big time, but poor throw from the quarterback. This is what you're going to get from Mikel Williams. Violent hands, power.
And there's Jalen Walker on the other side. And so imagine
Jalen Walker on the other side.
And that would be Nick Bosa.
Right. That's going to be a Nick Bosa on the other side. He also brings an ability to stand up in the run game. Okay, so they moved these defensive players around from Georgia a lot. He's here. He's going to be playing as a 5 technique, head up on the tackle. They're going to try and block him in the run game. Look at him anchor his hole. Pad level's great. He's going to stand up this tackle and hold this down and keep the running back from getting to his hole. That's where the running back wants to go. Okay, now they move him over onto the other side. And now he's going to come around on the stunt. He's going to keep fighting. Now that one wasn't there's much there.
But he sealed off that side though.
Else. Right, but he's there. It's fine. So, and then you're going to see him here rushing from over the guard. So watch him rush over the guard. He's going to beat the double team and still get after the quarterback and force an incompletion. Just really, really like the tape here from Mikel Williams. Again, this is another example of the run setting. He's here on the edge. He's going to have to take on a pulling guard who's trying to come and kick him out. Look at how he sees it and is aggressive and goes and meets this. The only way this play is even a positive gain is this running back makes an unreal jump cut, to get out of there.
Yeah, you're right.
He absolutely stuffs that run, and he still didn't get very far, because he had to then go out to the other side. Away from the defense. So now here, you're going to see him again. He's here on the edge. He's going to set this run now. He gets a little pancaked here, but they're trying to seal him off. They want to run this outside. He's not going to let that happen. He gets over here. Now, again, he does get pancaked, but he condensed the run lane. Jalen Walker was able to fill and make the tackle. And he ended up as the man on top. So,
wow.
Really like the Mikel Williams pick here. He was I was starting to lean towards this pick more towards the end, and I think in my last mock draft we did, I think I took Mikel Williams. I think that's what I did.
There you go. So, Mikel Williams is the number 11 pick for the San Francisco 49ers. Now we have an edge rusher opposite Nick Bosa. What will they do come day 2? We'll find out tomorrow. I want to thank everyone who came out today to watch this stream. We're up against the clock right now. Johnny, where can they find you and all your content?
You can find me on Twitter at Johnny Dells FA on X. You can also YouTube Johnny Dells Football Academy. You can go to jfa49.com, become a member, and support all the film study. Like, I was able to pull it up because I watched his tape. Because I thought Mikel Williams could be there, and he's there. So,
he's there. Mikel Williams, a 6'5", 265 junior defensive end edge rusher. He is going to be the number 11 pick for the San Francisco 49ers. After all the speculation and all the mock drafts, Mikel Williams is your number 11 pick. Guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Johnny Dells Football Academy for exclusive and some of the best 49er content on the internet. And, of course, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Dre Area Sports channel over on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you follow Johnny Dells' account and my account as we go live multiple times a week, bringing you Niner content throughout the offseason and into the regular season. Johnny, thank you so much for coming on here. I appreciate you watching the draft with me. This was so much fun. Mikel Williams, who would have thought? I think he's a polished player. I think he's good to go. And it's going to be an exciting season for the San Francisco 49ers. Guys, we'll see you next time. Until then, go Niners and peace. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.